If you're looking for some good Star Trek to fill the void left by today's less than stellar examples, then ReExamined Reads, the Star Trek edition, is for you. We'll review works written in the 1960s all the way up until around 2012. We'll see which ones pass the tests of good writing, plot, characters, and canon, and measure up to the old school standards of Trek. We're looking for those books you pick up when you're bored with watching and rewatching the old school series and you just need that Star Trek fix. We'll cover works written for Star Trek the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. Works will be evaluated on a 1 through 5 star rating system, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Don't waste time sifting through the hundreds of novels out there to find a good Star Trek book. Look through our reviews and find a read that suits your interest. Consider us your guidepost to great Trek. Now before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe. On this edition of ReExamined Reads, we'll take a look at Franz Joseph's The Starfleet Technical Manual. It was published in 1975 by Ballantine Books. It is available on Amazon. See the link below. This is not a traditional book review in that this work is more of a manual than a story. However, it is a piece of Star Trek history and one that deserves to be re-examined. I was watching a video the other day regarding the Miranda class of starship. The producer of the piece was asking if this ship had an original series predecessor. That got me thinking about the Ptolemy class of starship as shown in the Starfleet Technical Manual. Over the years, several of these types of manuals have been produced, but the first was created by author Franz Joseph in 1975. Franz had worked in the aerospace industry and was a member of the San Diego Star Trek Appreciation Society, which they called STAR. Members of this organization spent their leisure time making props and diagrams from the old series. Franz created a book which covers everything from the Articles of the Federation to uniform designs, starships, even a 3D chessboard with some basic rules. He got access to some of the original show props, and Gene Roddenberry even encouraged him to create the manual and get it published. He did, and it became one of Ballantine Books' bestsellers. Some of this work has been used as a reference for the first 3 Star Trek films. Starship names listed in the manual used as part of the opening of Star Trek the Motion Picture, and diagrams were used in the search for Spock. Designs were taken from this book and used in the old chart and dice game Starfleet Battles, and later in the computer game. Joseph's work has also been credited in at least a dozen Star Trek novels. The diagrams of bridge stations and original series props were no doubt helpful to those who recreated them later for fan movies. So is it canon? I would say yes, it qualifies. It is deeply embedded in the lore that was produced after the cancellation of the original series in a time we call the Great and Terrible Star Trek Dry Spell. An interest in the Starfleet Technical Manual helped keep Trek alive when no one thought it would ever come back into production. Gene Roddenberry gave this work his blessing, and the work is used as source material for movie makers. That, in my opinion, qualifies it as canon and a reliable source. Franz Joseph's Starfleet Technical Manual adds a whole new experience to Trek lore in a positive way. It has been the inspiration for other works that many of us now enjoy. This work, which started out as a labor of love, is still an enduring part of the old series. It is without a doubt a 5-star rated work. If there were more stars, it would get those too. If you want to check out the material for free, there are a number of page samples online. Take the time to examine this tome. For you older fans, take a walk down memory lane. Leave your comments on this book and suggestions for Star Trek novels you would like to see reviewed below. If you really enjoyed this presentation, after you like and subscribe, send a link of this channel to your favorite Star Trek fan. It would be much appreciated. As always, thank you for watching.